The kidneys, a pair of small organs tucked neatly behind the back, play a vital role in the human body. Every day they filter about 180 liters of blood-removed waste, balance water and electrolytes, and maintain stable blood pressure. But contrary to the popular belief that the kidneys are durable organs, the truth is that the kidneys are extremely fragile, and once damaged, the ability to recover is almost zero. This is the key difference between the kidneys and other organs, such as the liver, which can regenerate strongly after damage. With the kidneys, the damage is almost permanent, and the process of functional decline can silently occur for many years without the patient knowing. What is even more dangerous is that by the time it is discovered, most patients have already fallen into stage 3 or 4 of chronic kidney disease when the filtering ability of the kidneys has been severely reduced. The longer it is left, the closer it gets to the risk of needing dialysis, a journey that is painful, expensive, and seriously reduces the quality of life. Research shows that the average life expectancy of a person who starts dialysis at age 60 is only about 64 years old, meaning they only have 4 more years to live. Meanwhile, a healthy 60-year-old can live to 80 or more. This is not a theory, but a harsh reality that millions of people are facing every day. The biggest problem is that the kidneys do not speak up as early as other organs. There are no obvious signs, no pain, no fever, no fatigue, until the damage is severe. And when the damage is deep, all efforts to adjust are only support and cannot recover. Therefore, prevention is better than cure, especially for an organ that does not have a self-healing mechanism like the kidneys. Understanding the function of the kidneys, recognizing their fragility and recovery limits, is the first step to protecting your long-term health. If you've ever neglected your diet, skipped blood pressure checks, ignored blood sugar warnings, or abused over-the-counter painkillers, stop. These habits are eating away at your kidneys' filtering capacity. And one day, when your kidneys can no longer filter toxins from your blood, you'll be faced with 2 bitter choices: regular dialysis or a waiting list of hundreds of thousands for a kidney transplant. The fragility of your kidneys isn't just medical information. It's a stark reminder to take action today before it's too late. There's a terrifying paradox in modern medicine. Chronic kidney disease is on the rise, but few people understand what really causes it. It's no coincidence that millions of people around the world, especially in the United States, are ending up in kidney failure, dialysis, kidney transplants, or dying while still living seemingly normal lives. The truth is, the 3 main culprits silently destroying the kidneys every day are type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and overuse of over-the-counter painkillers. These aren't just dry medical terms. They're the real reasons millions of people's blood filtering functions are being eroded, leaving the kidneys unable to perform their vital tasks. First, type 2 diabetes is at the top of the list. When you eat too much sugar and starch, your body has to constantly produce insulin to control your blood sugar. But over time, insulin resistance develops, causing blood sugar to stay high. It is this sugar-filled blood that has seeped into every microvessel in the body, including millions of microvessels in the kidneys. These capillaries are extremely fragile and sensitive. When blood sugar is constantly high, it causes inflammation, swelling, and destruction of the blood-filtering capillaries. The result: the kidneys become clogged, damaged, and gradually lose their ability to filter toxins. This is why tens of millions of diabetics also suffer from kidney damage. Next is high blood pressure, the silent killer. Every day, blood is pumped throughout the body at a steady pressure. But when blood pressure is constantly high, this pressure is like a rushing stream tearing at the walls of blood vessels, causing micro-damage and inflammation. And once again, the kidneys become the primary victims because they are where a series of microvessels are concentrated to filter blood. High pressure breaks down the structure of the microvessels, causing them to lose elasticity, thicken, and even become fibrotic. Over time, blood filtration becomes less effective, toxins build up in the body, and signs of kidney failure begin to appear. Third, and most alarming, is the abuse of over-the-counter pain relievers, such as ibuprofen, aspirin, or Tylenol. These drugs, when used long-term, or in the wrong dose, directly destroy the renal tubular cells, causing inflammation, edema, and dysfunction of the filtration system. Although seemingly harmless, each non-steroidal, anti-inflammatory drug, NSAID, you take indiscriminately can be a hidden knife, cutting into the body's vital filtration system. Taken together, these three factors, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, and drug toxins, revolve around a common root: metabolic disorders due to insulin resistance. This is not just a problem for obese or diabetic people. Even thin people, if they eat the wrong way, are stressed for a long time, and are sedentary, are at risk of silent insulin resistance. And when insulin resistance increases, everything starts to go downhill. Blood pressure soars, blood sugar gets out of control, inflammation spikes, the immune system weakens. All of these lead to the inevitable outcome: permanent kidney damage. The key here is not just knowing the cause, but understanding how the damage progresses through each stage, also known as the stages of chronic kidney disease. CKD. The classification of CKD into 5 stages is not just for easy remembering. It determines different diets, lifestyles, and treatments for each level of damage. Stage 1, the first stage, sounds dangerous but is actually normal. The glomerular filtration rate, IGFR, is still above 90, meaning the kidneys are still working well. However, you may have signs of mild disorders such as albumin appearing in the urine. This is an early warning sign. Urgent lifestyle adjustments are needed. Stage 2, eGFR from 60 to 89. Real damage begins to appear. Although this index is still considered normal by many clinics, the truth is that the kidneys have reduced filtering efficiency. If you feel tired, urinate frequently at night, have slight swelling, be suspicious. The kidneys are calling for help, but no one is listening. Stage 3, from 30 to 59, is when the situation becomes serious. The kidneys can only filter 1/3 to 1/8 of what they normally do. You may have high blood pressure, anemia, chronic fatigue, swelling, and foamy urine. This is when serious changes are needed. Reduce protein control. Salt, drink enough water, and get intensive treatment. Stage 3 is further divided into 2 here. 3B59 and 3B 3044. 3B is when the danger begins to mount. Stage 4, from 15 to 29, is the stage before complete kidney failure. The body accumulates toxins, increasing urea, creatinine, potassium, and phosphorus. You need to follow up closely with a kidney specialist and prepare for dialysis if there is no improvement. Stage 5, under 15, is end-stage chronic kidney disease. The kidneys have almost completely lost their function. They cannot filter toxins, cannot balance minerals, and the patient must choose lifelong dialysis or wait for a kidney transplant. However, the number of people waiting is always 5 times the number of donated kidneys, and thousands of people die each year before receiving a transplant. Notably, 40% of people with kidney disease in the US do not know they have the disease. That proves wrong perceptions, indifference to health indicators, and subjectivity with diet are causing millions of people to get closer to the brink of kidney failure every day without knowing it. When it comes to chronic kidney disease, most people simply think, limit salt, drink plenty of water is enough. But the truth is much more complicated. One of the biggest problems that patients have is the misunderstanding that they need to abstain from substances such as sodium, potassium, phosphorus, nitrogen from protein, and even filtered water. It is true that when the kidney is severely damaged, it is no longer able to process these substances effectively. But a serious mistake is when people think that these substances are the cause of kidney damage, thereby completely cutting back on protein, minerals, and water, inadvertently causing the kidney to weaken because of lack of recovery materials. The truth is, minerals such as potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and protein are all extremely necessary for a healthy body. The body needs protein to regenerate cells, needs potassium for cardiovascular activity, needs phosphorus to maintain strong bones, and of course needs water to ensure stable blood filtration flow. Completely cutting out these substances is only appropriate in the final stages, when the kidney's filtering function is almost completely lost. But in the early and middle stages, unnecessary cutting will cause the body to become exhausted, the immune system to weaken, and the rate of kidney degeneration to increase. To understand better, let's take a specific example. Protein. When eaten, protein will be broken down into amino acids used to build muscles, tissues, hormones, and enzymes. A small part will produce nitrogen waste, which is harmful if the kidneys filter poorly. But if you eat too little protein, the body will not have the raw materials to repair damaged kidney tissue. The irony is that the less protein you eat, the weaker your body will be, and the less able your kidneys are to recover. The solution is not to eliminate, but to choose the right type, the right dose, and the right time according to each stage of the disease. In stages 1 and 2, when the kidney's filtering function is still quite good, far above 60, there is no need to strictly restrict minerals or protein. Instead, focus on a whole foods diet, low in starch, low in sugar, high in fiber, green vegetables, and high-quality protein. The goal is to provide enough fuel for the body to recover while reducing the burden from insulin and sugar, two factors that have been shown to be the root causes of kidney damage. If you are in stage 2, monitor your blood indicators closely. If potassium, phosphorus, sodium start to increase, make small adjustments. If nothing unusual, continue to eat healthy, exercise regularly, and control blood sugar. That is the best way to prevent the disease from progressing. Don't be afraid of protein or water when your body is still capable of handling it. Blind fear will push you into malnutrition and kidney failure faster. The key point here is kidney disease is not simply the result of eating salty or high-protein foods, but the long-term consequences of metabolic disorders, prolonged stress, and an industrial lifestyle lacking exercise and blood sugar control. Therefore, instead of rushing to cut back on everything, patients need to learn how to build a comprehensive health foundation, starting with a smart menu, scientific exercise, and thorough stress reduction. Speaking of stress, this is the third dangerous but often overlooked factor in kidney disease. Every time you are stressed, your body releases the hormone cortisol, which increases blood pressure and blood sugar. Both of these factors, as analyzed, are the leading causes of kidney damage. Not stopping their stress also weakens the immune system, making the body susceptible to infections, including glomerulonephritis. Therefore, reducing stress also reduces the burden on the kidneys. Practicing meditation, deep breathing, yoga, or simply walking every morning can all make a significant difference. In addition, physical activity is a powerful tool for kidney health. No need for strenuous exercise, just brisk walking, light resistance training, or yoga for 30 minutes a day is enough to improve blood circulation, reduce insulin resistance, and activate recovery signals from the brain to the entire organ system, including the kidneys. Many people think that when you are sick, you should rest a lot. But the truth is, the longer you lie still, the weaker your body becomes, and the more your kidneys lose their ability to regulate their internal environment. Another important point to emphasize is understand your own limits according to each stage of the disease. If you have entered stage 4 or 5, all actions must be done under the supervision of a specialist, especially a nephrologist. But if you are still in the early or middle stages, the power is in your hands. Choosing quality foods, reducing starch, reducing sugar, exercising properly, and relaxing your mind. These are the non-prescription, but most sustainable, effective prescriptions that you can give yourself. If you are in the early stages, eating lots of fruits and vegetables is great. But if you have already reached stage 3 or 4, choosing the wrong foods, Even healthy foods can seriously worsen your kidney condition. Therefore, the following list is not just a simple list, but an in-depth analysis of each food, quality effects warnings, along with the potassium, phosphorus, and sodium index per 100 g serving. This is especially important because when the kidneys are weak, the body cannot regulate these minerals on its own. You need to understand clearly to make the right choice instead of following the trend without knowledge. 1. Apples, a popular fruit, but need to be used at the right time. No one can deny the healthiness of apples. This is a familiar fruit, easy to buy, easy to eat, and contains many antioxidants such as quercetin, which helps fight inflammation, prevent cell damage, support the digestive system, and strengthen the immune system. With extremely low sodium content, only 1 milliliters potassium of only about 170 and phosphorus of only 11 milliliters per 100 grams, apples are considered a kidney-friendly fruit. But behind those impressive numbers is an important warning. The amount of natural sugar in apples is quite high, ranging from 17 g to more than 20 g of sugar for a large fruit. If you are healthy or only in stage 1-2 of kidney disease without insulin resistance, apples are absolutely a great choice to supplement energy and fiber. However, if you have a history of type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, apples can be a double-edged sword. Because the sugar in apples will continue to increase blood sugar, increase insulin, and promote damage to the blood vessels of the kidneys. Therefore, for people with metabolic problems or kidney disease from stage 3 onwards, it is advisable to choose fruits with less sugar to avoid aggravating the condition. Apples are not completely eliminated, but need to be carefully considered in the context of the overall diet and individual disease. 2. Bell peppers, delicious, nutritious, and almost sugar-free. When looking for a vegetable that is beautiful, delicious, low in sugar, and good for people with kidney disease, bell peppers are the ideal choice. With 3 colors, red, yellow, green. Each has its own nutritional properties, but the common point is low mineral content and almost zero sugar. On average, every 100 grams of bell peppers contain only about 1 to 2 grams of sugar, low potassium, low phosphorus, and almost negligible sodium. The special strength of bell peppers is their very high vitamin C content, 3 times higher than oranges. This is a key factor in increasing resistance, fighting cell oxidation, and protecting microvessels in the kidneys. In addition, bell peppers are also rich in vitamins A, B6, and carotenoids that help fight inflammation. For people with kidney disease, especially those in the process of adjusting their diet to avoid further damage to the kidneys, bell peppers are not only a safe food, but also a natural medicine to support anti-inflammation and nutritional balance. Unlike apples, which should be used with caution in people with insulin resistance, bell peppers are completely suitable for everyone, including diabetics or people in stage 4 kidney disease. You can eat them raw as a salad, lightly sautéed with olive oil, grilled with fish, or used as a topping in the main dish without worrying about putting a burden on the kidneys. 3. Berries. Small but rich in kidney protection value. If there is any fruit that is both a strong antioxidant, low in sugar, and good for both blood vessels and the immune system, it is the berries group, including strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. Among them, raspberries are the best choice for people with kidney disease, thanks to their low sugar content, only about 5 g 100 Gs, along with very little sodium, potassium, and phosphorus. Raspberries contain anthocyanins, extremely powerful antioxidants that help protect the microcirculation in the kidneys from damage caused by free radicals while reducing inflammation and preventing urinary tract infections, a common complication in kidney patients. In addition, the fiber in berries helps stabilize blood sugar, improve digestion, and support the balance of intestinal microflora, thereby indirectly reducing the burden on the kidneys when processing toxins. However, it is important to note that blueberries, although still in the good group, have a higher potassium and sugar content than raspberries. So if you are in stage 3B or 4, you should use them in limited quantities, prioritizing the lower sugar varieties. One thing to remember is frozen berries still retain their nutritional value, so you can completely store and use them for a long time without worrying about freshness. 4. Cranberries, a miracle drug for the urinary tract, but not for people with insulin resistance. One of the most mentioned fruits when talking about kidney and bladder health is cranberries. This small fruit has the ability to prevent bacteria from sticking to the walls of the urethra and bladder, thereby reducing the risk of urinary tract infections, a factor that can easily lead to secondary kidney damage. However, cranberries have a major drawback. They are sour and very difficult to eat raw. Therefore, on the market, cranberries are often processed into juices, and most of them add a lot of sugar to make them easier to drink. This is the problem. If you are insulin resistant or diabetic, consuming cranberries with added sugar will do more harm than good. Although cranberries are beneficial for the urinary tract if blood sugar is high, the kidneys are still the organs that are most affected. The advice is only use pure unsweetened cranberries, which can be diluted with filtered water or vegetable juice. If you cannot drink it without adding sugar, choose other foods such as raspberries or bell peppers. Still protect the kidneys without increasing the blood sugar burden. 5. Cabbage, a rustic dish extremely good for the kidneys. Not as colorful as berries, not as luxurious as imported fruits. Cabbage is a rustic vegetable, but is at the top of the list of foods that are good for people with kidney disease. With low potassium, sodium, and phosphorus content, cabbage does not put pressure on the filtering function of the kidneys. In addition, it also contains glucosinolates, a type of antioxidant that can neutralize toxins in the blood and support the liver and kidneys to eliminate waste. Cabbage is also a rich source of soluble fiber, helping to stabilize blood sugar and support digestion. When the digestive system works effectively, the amount of toxins entering the blood through the intestines will be significantly reduced, thereby reducing the burden on the kidneys. You can eat cabbage in many ways: boiled, stir-fried, cooked in soup, or fermented into pickled cabbage. But be careful not to eat too salty, because excess salt will be counterproductive for people at risk of kidney failure. A big plus of cabbage is that it is cheap, popular, and easy to find all year round. For people with kidney disease, especially the elderly, or those who have to follow a strict diet, cabbage is a safe, economical choice that still ensures nutrients. 6. Cauliflower, a multitasking vegetable that supports detoxification and anti-inflammation. Cauliflower, also known as white cauliflower, is one of the foods that is often underestimated due to its simple color and unattractive appearance, like green vegetables or tropical fruits. But the truth is, cauliflower has strong detoxifying and anti-inflammatory properties, especially suitable for people with kidney disease. The first highlight is the low mineral content. Potassium, phosphorus, and sodium in cauliflower are all at very low levels, helping to reduce the load on the kidneys during the blood filtration process. At the same time, this vegetable is rich in vitamin C, K, folate, and organic sulfur compounds, such as glucosinolates and isothiocyanates. These substances not only help neutralize toxins in the blood, but also prevent microvascular inflammation in the kidneys, especially in conditions of prolonged high blood sugar or blood pressure. However, users should note cauliflower has a large volume, making it easy to eat a lot without control. For stage 4 patients, consuming large amounts can increase potassium absorption if the kidneys are severely impaired. Therefore, the advice is to use it in moderation, cook it thoroughly for easy digestion, and always monitor blood indicators if you are on treatment. 7. Green lettuce. Raw vegetables are low in minerals, easy to digest, and support purification. In the world of green vegetables, lettuce is often overlooked because it is lacking in nutrients. But for people with kidney disease, this is a real superfood. With an extremely low mineral content, just a few milligrams of sodium, potassium, and phosphorus per 100 gram serving. Lettuce does not put pressure on the kidney's filtering function. This is especially important for patients in stages 3B and 4, when the ability to remove excess minerals becomes less effective. Not only is it a vegetable that complements meals, lettuce also provides natural water, soluble fiber, and a small amount of vitamins A, C, K, which help improve intestinal motility, aid digestion, and purify the body. In addition, with extremely low calories, lettuce is an ideal choice for people who need to control weight, blood sugar, and blood pressure at the same time, 3 factors that directly affect the rate of kidney failure. Another advantage is that lettuce is very easy to combine in the menu. It can be eaten raw with lean meat, steamed fish, boiled eggs, or mixed with pure olive oil. However, because this is a raw vegetable, it needs to be washed thoroughly and soaked in salt or ozone water to remove bacteria, avoiding inflammation of the digestive tract, indirectly affecting the kidneys. 8. Onions, natural anti-inflammatory substance that helps support the immune system and detoxify. If you have to choose a vegetable that can simultaneously support detoxification, reduce inflammation, and increase glutathione, an important endogenous antioxidant for the kidneys, it is onions. Unlike starchy vegetables, onions contain very few digestible carbs and have extremely low mineral content, making them perfect for kidney patients from stage 3 onwards. The value of onions lies in their organic sulfur compounds and sulfur-containing amino acids, which help enhance the ability to neutralize toxins, support the liver and kidneys, in the process of eliminating nitrogen compounds, creatinine, and urea. Substances that weaken kidneys often have difficulty eliminating. In addition, onions also help stabilize blood sugar, fight inflammation, and improve cardiovascular health, indirectly reducing the burden on the kidneys. However, avoid deep frying onions at high temperatures or processing them with industrial oils, as this will almost completely eliminate their benefits. Instead, lightly stir-fry them with olive oil, grill steam, or eat them raw in salads to retain their biological value. 9. Eggs, a high-quality protein source, but eat them right. Of all the natural sources of protein, eggs are the most biologically effective, especially for those who need to control their protein intake while still ensuring cell regeneration. However, in kidney diets, eggs are often misunderstood. Many people only eat the whites because they fear the yolks contain a lot of phosphorus. The truth is, when you remove the yolk, the biological value of the egg is significantly reduced. Although the whites contain protein, they lack many essential amino acids and are nutritionally unbalanced, causing the body to process more nitrogenous waste when digested. That means more pressure on the kidneys, which is exactly what you are trying to avoid. Meanwhile, the yolks contain fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, choline, which helps liver and brain function, and a reasonable phosphorus ratio when eaten in moderation. Instead of throwing away the yolk, patients should calculate the appropriate amount of eggs according to blood index weight and disease stage. An average whole egg contains about 6 grams of protein, which is completely within the allowable limit for stage 3 or 4 if divided evenly throughout the day. In short, eat whole eggs, do not fry them, do not use unhealthy oils, and prioritize steaming, boiling, or pan-frying without oil. That is the way to let the kidneys receive the benefits of protein without being attacked by waste. 10. Garlic, ginger, turmeric, a natural anti-inflammatory trio that supports kidney detoxification. Unlike vegetables that need to be eaten in large quantities, this familiar trio of spices is used in small doses but has extremely powerful anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antioxidant effects, especially beneficial in supporting the elimination of toxins and preventing glomerulonephritis or tubulonephritis, common problems in people with chronic kidney damage. Garlic contains allicin, a powerful natural antibiotic compound that helps clean the blood, reduce cholesterol and blood pressure, and protect the lining of the kidney blood vessels. Ginger helps stabilize digestion, improve metabolism, and is a strong anti-inflammatory, helping to reduce chronic inflammatory responses that can affect the kidneys. Turmeric, with its active ingredient curcumin, helps prevent kidney tissue fibrosis, enhances cell regeneration, and soothes inflammatory disorders. A word of caution: do not overdose, as large amounts of ginger or turmeric can affect the stomach and blood. Use it as a spice, 3 to 5 grams per day, for the best results without side effects. You can add it to stews, soups, porridge, detox drinks, or turmeric honey capsules unsweetened if you need a more intensive supplement. Kidney health doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of every little choice you make every day. What you eat, what you drink, and how you treat your body. Your kidneys don't complain, they don't say anything. But once they're damaged, there's no turning back. So don't wait until your eGFR drops. Don't wait until you need dialysis to start making changes. Take action today, from your first meal, to preserve this priceless asset that you only have twice in your life. If you find this content useful, leave a comment to share your thoughts and subscribe to the channel to continue accompanying us on our journey of proactive healthcare, because knowledge is the most powerful medicine.